sensing this danger. This is the greatest showman! He is floating on air now!
He's going to send it back. Dawn, bang! Down he goes.
They love it!
Hello, welcome back for the third round of the AFL season with the multicultural AFL footy panel. What a week we had for the much-awaited restart to the season. The Magpies and the Tigers fought a low-scoring draw aided by a controversial goal line video umpire's decision. And no one was satisfied with the outcome of the game, neither the coaches, players, and the seagulls that were in the attendance at the G. Melbourne hung on to win with a point against the Blues, which came back for 42, zipped down to nearly stealing the match. In shock results, the Cellar Dwellers Gold Coast trashed finals favourite West Coast Eagles. North Melbourne gave the Giants a footy lesson and Essendon snuck home against the fast-finishing Swans. Altogether a tipster's nightmare. And shock horror, the Western Bulldogs are winless and languishing at the bottom of the AFL ladder. I am Vanessa Gatica and I'm joined by my two co-panelists, Javier Sincang and Gabriel De Angelo. Hello guys.
Hello, Vanessa.
Vanessa, Javier.
So are you ready to analyze the weekend's results, boys? You touched, Javier, on the seriously unexpected results and what painfully defensive draw game last Thursday night.
I believe the last Thursday night game, Collingwood just gave it away. Although I must say they were quite clean at just the way they started off.
Yeah.
And the way they played the game, I would still say that all is not lost for Collingwood. I mean, they played really well. But then again, they were playing against Richmond. And Richmond always has that thing where it doesn't matter what condition it is, they are able to bounce back. And that's what they did. At some point, there was like a lot of pressure by Richmond, but still Collingwood was able to maneuver their way into the game. But in the end, I think it sort of became too much and then Richmond sort of took over. It was very bad the latter part that was played by Collingwood. So I think they should have kept on to the momentum they had at the start and should have kept playing the clean footy they were playing before. But at the end, I mean, it all came down to that decision as well. But then again, we have to cop that. That's how it is. There are going to be impious decisions. We can't just base that, okay, that game was won or lost on one decision. So I would say this is probably the result was how the both teams played. They deserved a draw.
Yeah, but also at the same time, we know that Collingwood, they're very fast starters, whereas Richmond are fast finishers. So it was really like expected.
Yeah.
Collingwood had that amazing start and then Richmond had that amazing finish. But I don't think any of us were expecting, not necessarily a draw, but such a low scoring draw.
Yeah.
But the triumvirate of Collingwood's midfield, with Sidebottom, Main and Pendlebury, I really enjoy the way that Sidebottom and Main work together. I think Sidebottom for me is one of the most underrated players in the AFL by a long, long, long way. I don't know about you, but that's what I think. But
and Chris Min has improved a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He's improved out of sight since he's moved to Collingwood. But I know that we're keen to talk about the St Kilda and Western Bulldogs game. I know I am.
Oh, well, no surprises there.
Yeah. Well, look, without harping on it too much, but I thought that St Kilda did play very, very well. There's a distinct change of style and the way they sort of go about defensively and especially going forward with St Kilda under Brett Ratton in such a short time than there was under the 5 years of Alan Richardson. But Zach Jones for me was just amazing, and the way that St Kilda played was very, very encouraging to see. But also at the same time, this is what I want to bring you guys in, because yes, St Kilda played very, very well, but I don't know for sure if it's because St Kilda were just far too superior for the Western Bulldogs or that the Western Bulldogs were just so bad. I know that, they've had the hangover a couple of years ago. I mean, this hangover is going on and on and on. So if the Western Bulldogs keep going on like this, as Bulldog supporters, what do you guys think? They can't allow Beveridge to keep going on like that.
Yeah. I believe, last time we discussed that as well, and I said the Saints going to win this game. That's because I've seen that thing with the St Kilda team at the moment, the way the coach, where the new players have gelled in, and Bradley, he's there to supply the ball, and he's doing that fantastically. Right? Everyone sort of knows their job, and the way they took the game away from Bulldogs. I mean, not to mention it was their own fault with ferocious kicking,
Yeah.
the way they did, and then the way the ball was moved around and the turnovers and everything was wrong that day as far as Bulldogs are concerned. But St Kilda this year, their real test sort of comes now, because if you remember last season as well, they were at good position at the start, and then after that sort of the hill sort of went downhill later in the season. So let's see, their test will come up and see how we go. As far as Bulldogs are concerned, they really need to redeem themselves. But then again, same with Bulldogs, we were talking bad about them in like the middle of the season or so, that they go down and then they sort of shot up.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens in this season.
Yeah. But what do you think, as a Bulldogs fan, not as the host, put your Bulldogs fan hat on, but as a Bulldogs fan, what do you think?
Well, I reckon definitely St Kilda was superior to the Bulldogs, but I'm still not my Bulldogs.
She took off the hat, but she put on the gloves. You see.
She's done something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on you, Vanessa.
Like
good on you
magic.
for that.
Definitely the play was way better of St Kilda. I reckon St Kilda have lots of, as I saw in the game, have a lots of good opportunities to make a good season this year.
Yeah, well, hopefully. But you just touched on it, that St Kilda, having Paddy Ryder, Zach Jones, Brad Hill, these are very, very good players, experienced players who fit into specific spots. And they can bring that experience into a fairly young team. Whereas Carlton, with their loss against Melbourne, it's a lot of people sort of think, oh, Carlton, they're a young team. But in this week, Carlton, they were older than both Richmond and Collingwood. And look at the level of one team with the other. So Carlton and their inaccuracy in front of goals, I mean, there's a lot to fix there with Carlton.
Yeah, I would say both the teams haven't improved. Melbourne have done that in the past, where they've lost the game they should have won, and so did the Carlton. Carlton, if you look at their last few years or so, there has been so many bad first quarters where they had to lose the game just because of that. You can probably look at those stats, and then if the later part, like second, third and fourth quarter, they played well. But by the time, sometimes it's too late. And so that's what happened this time as well. And with Melbourne, although you can see good sign in Petrarca and other players, like they're coming in well, but still, like the momentum that they had and the lead they had to get rid of that, and that's not convincing at all. And that doesn't look like a finals team to me at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But on the other side of Melbourne, you have North Melbourne. They put a very good performance.
Very good. Well, like
very, very good.
We were thinking about that North Melbourne's going to do good, but I wasn't expecting them to beat GWS with all their big guns playing. There was nobody was probably out. Callum Ward in there, Himmelberg in there, Jack Wilfield in there. Everyone was in there, and Sam Jacobs, he did well too. So I don't know how the GWS lost, but all credit to North Melbourne at the moment.
But we did mention last week that GWS, like many teams who have had a really, really bad loss in the grand final, the following season they just start to go downhill pretty badly.
I'll give you that one. You said that.
I'll give myself half a mark for that.
I believe there was no surprise that Geelong Cats won by that much margin, because it's their home game, and then Gary Ablett in such a good form, and Joel Selwood, he played like the way he should be playing, and then at home ground they're just too good.
No, exactly. They were just far too superior for Hawthorn on that day. But we'll see what happens with Hawthorn during the season.
And that, viewers, was the reopening of the AFL footy season. So don't go anywhere, as we'll be back with round 3, previews and more. See you on the other side of the break. Tonight, the Tigers host Hawthorn from the MCG. I still think Richmond is the team to beat this year, and they are up against the hot and cold Hawks tonight. Friday night's game has the Western Bulldogs home at Docklands Stadium, hosting the traveling GWS Giants. This could be the Dogs' last chance to redeem themselves from last week's thrashing, or while the Giants regain form and inflict another loss to the Dogs. What are your thoughts, Gabriel?
Yes, I totally believe that the Giants will inflict another defeat to the Bulldogs. I think that the Bulldogs, they've just been so depleted, and not just in last week's game, but also the game against Collingwood in the first round. They were just so bad in so many key areas, and players like Bontempelli, he sort of seems like he's lost a bit of that fire, a little bit of that spark that he once had when they made it all the way to the grand final. But Giants, they desperately need to have another, they desperately need to get back onto winning form.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because last week's performance against North Melbourne, even though North Melbourne did play well, still it wasn't up to the standard that we expect of GWS, especially at home. So I think GWS are going to lift for that game. Richmond versus Hawthorn. I think Richmond are still better at the moment than Hawthorn. They're a far more developed side, whereas Hawthorn are developing. I think that Hawthorn will improve during the year because they've got such good players and they've got an amazing coach in Alistair Clarkson. But right now, I think Richmond are just far too superior to the other competition at the moment. So I think Richmond should win that one pretty easily, and GWS should beat the Bulldogs quite comfortably.
Well, I think the same, because I can't really see a venue, or I can't really see anything which can help Bulldogs win at the moment, because it's going to be St. Jacobs against Tim English. So right from there, they're going to have their best midfield there too. And to be honest, all the Bulldogs are meant to have a very good midfield. They're not performing at all.
Yeah.
So right from the start and go up to the front, we had shocking kickers this year. This game that we played against St Kilda. The chances we missed, GWS going to make us pay hard for that one. So I believe it's going to be an easy win for GWS, and plus because they got a bit of a thrashing last time, so they'll be ready to go and add everything else to that team, plus that pressure that they're going to put on Bulldogs. I don't think they stand any chance. And well, Richmond, I think it's a straightforward to me at the moment. Really, I want a team to beat Richmond. Then I might go with any other team. But at the moment, Richmond, hands down.
I would love to see the Bulldogs win one, definitely. It is back to the Docklands on Saturday, where North Melbourne will be playing to make it 3 wins in a row at the expense of the Sydney Swans. And boys, this following game could be the match of the round, when the Magpies go head-to-head with the resurging Saints from the MCG late afternoon on Saturday. What are your thoughts?
Well, I totally agree with you. This is going to be a very good game. Whether Saints will be able to hold on their nerve against Collingwood, it's going to be a big test for them. And then again, they need that kind of test to really see where they stand at the moment. And Collingwood, I think they're far too clean as compared to St Kilda. I believe it will be a good competition, but I believe Collingwood's going to come on top. And with the other game, North Melbourne and Sydney Swans, I believe North Melbourne they've ticked all the boxes. Nothing could stop them. Although AFL would be happy too that on the plane with the other team, both teams going together that very day, and still they were able to perform and win. I think that was immaculate the way they did it. So I think North Melbourne, it's an easy win.
Yeah, Sydney were very disappointing against Essendon. They really should have done a better job at home against Essendon, but North Melbourne, they are going to surprise a few teams. They've improved out of sight under Reshaw. I think North Melbourne will win that game. Collingwood and St Kilda, I don't know if it's going to be the match of the round that some people might think. I would love it if St Kilda will win, but they're just a little bit more underdeveloped than Collingwood at the moment. Their midfield is just so strong. I think Collingwood should win that one against St Kilda, even though I would love it if St Kilda could bring a surprise.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. The panel will be back with more after the short break. Stay tuned to the Multicultural AFL Footy Show. Welcome back. As we continue with our previews of the last 5 games of the third round, continuing with Saturday night's game, Geelong at home plays Carlton, and from the Gabba, Brisbane will play the West Coast Eagles. Boys, both tough games. Who wants to go first?
Yes, you're right. Both are 2 tough games, but I don't really think it's necessarily tough to pick who's going to win, but tough for the team that are travelling, because Carlton at Geelong, that's going to be way too tough a task for the Blues. They're just look, we all want them to get better, we all want them to improve, but against Geelong in Geelong, that's just going to be way too difficult. I don't think many teams are going to beat Geelong at Cardinia Park. So for me, Geelong easily should win that one. And the West Coast Eagles, they were extremely disappointing against the Gold Coast Suns. They surprised everybody at Gold Coast, but the thing was Gold Coast played really well. Yep. So West Coast, they have to redeem themselves. But against Brisbane, this amazing team in Brisbane with Cameron doing so well and all these amazing young players at the helm at Brisbane Lions. In Brisbane, it's going to be, Lions for me.
Yeah, well, I agree. It's going to be Brisbane for me as well. The way Zorko is playing at the moment, Lockie Neal, he's into his role, and Cameron at the front. I mean, even Reiner, I think he will probably come up a later stage. He didn't do much at this game. So I think it's going to be Brisbane all the way. Having said that, West Coast Eagle looks very good on the paper, but we have to work out with the mentality of West Coast at the moment, how they take that loss. They might come in with all guns blazing, so that will be really hard for Brisbane to counter maybe. But I believe at Gabba, they're going to be too strong. And it's an easy pick for me. As any team travelling to Geelong are the favourites.
Moving on to Sunday's 3 games, Gold Coast takes on Adelaide from Carrara, Essendon plays Melbourne from the MCG, and Fremantle plays Port Adelaide from their isolation location on the Gold Coast. Some interesting results will come out of this, Javier. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I suppose that we are expecting some interesting results because of Gold Coast Suns. I think they're going to surprise Adelaide Crows. There was nothing in the game against Port Adelaide, which we can say that Adelaide Crows can bounce back at this stage. Just the usual suspects, Crouch brothers, they're doing fantastic job with the number of disposals, the work they did. And then only Riley O'Brien, who took St. Jacob's Sport, and rightly so. He was probably the only highlight for Adelaide. And I think it's going to be too much. It's a resurgent Gold Coast. And I'm fan of Gold Coast Suns right from the first episode. I said that they're going to surprise few teams, although I didn't expect them to beat West Coast. But Adelaide, I think it's going to be easy win for them. And then on the other hand, I believe Essendon and Melbourne, I think Essendon, I think they're far too strong for them.
Well, yeah, I mean, Gold Coast, their first win since round 4 of last season, which is amazing when you think about it. But how many times have not just us, but also proper paid footballing experts have said, okay, Gold Coast are finally getting into gear, they're going to win, they're going to be in the finals and all this, that, and the next thing, and then they just fizzled out really, really badly. I mean, last season was the same story. I mean, they scored, I think they won the first 4 or most of their games, and then they just lost every single one after that. So congratulations to Gold Coast for that win. Great win and all that. They played very well, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think that they will beat Adelaide at Carrara. I don't know if this is going to be a resurgence. Who knows? But I don't think so. But I think Gold Coast should win that one. Essendon versus Melbourne. That will be an interesting game. I think that Essendon, I think they surprised everybody with that win against Sydney. But also at the same time, they've always had good games, Sydney versus Essendon, and Essendon sometimes get the wood on Sydney a little bit. So we'll see how they go against Melbourne, but Melbourne, they've got to be a little bit more convincing than their win against Carlton, because quite frankly, Carlton should have won that game. I mean, they missed a lot of opportunities. So for me, I think Essendon should be just a little bit sharper. We've got McDonald, Tip and Woody is one of my favourite players. He's a fantastic player. Heppel and Stringer, he did a great job last week. So I think Essendon should win that game. And Fremantle versus Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide, they were just far too good for Adelaide. It was like a training drill. Fremantle, they're not bad, Fremantle. They could cause a few upsets here and there. But I think that Port Adelaide, they're just far too sharp at the moment. And I think they've got the bases covered a little bit more than what Fremantle has. So for me, I'm going to go with Port Adelaide on that one.
Yeah, same, Port Adelaide. But with Fremantle, I think only Ned Fife and Michael Walters are not playing. It's other players, they need to take up the responsibility as well. So in the last game, it just looked like both of them, they wanted to win badly. Other than that, they couldn't get that sport. The day they get the sport, Fremantle is going to start winning and surprise any team. But until that, I believe it's Port Adelaide.
Yeah. Looks like we'll have some interesting games to watch this weekend. My selections are Richmond, Bulldogs, Sydney Swans, Collingwood, Geelong, Brisbane, Gold Coast Suns, Essendon, and Port Adelaide.
You're going with the Bulldogs?
Of course.
Well, of course. There's no bias in this program at all whatsoever.
And we think from here, not here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Even that proves in that
We are
case.
good supporters.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I hope
Let's see.
Bulldogs win
Let's
this
see
one.
what's going to happen. TV coverage will be there for all the games, so enjoy the footy.
McGrath runs into a bit of a wall, happy to go wide to Sard. The running machine thumps it forward. Dawson had it, lost it, needs to go back and get it again. Here's a chance for the Bombers. McKernan over the top. Anthony McDonald, Tipungwuti, a shimmy, kicks a goal. Bombers on the board early, they get the first. Hewitt, O'Riordan, Mills. Well, McDonald, Tipungwuti, not sure whether Mills lost his way a little bit or not, but McDonald, Tipungwuti, when he's charging at you, get rid of the football. McDonald, Tipungwuti got the first, he's got his second, and the Bombers have got three. Swans with a little run through the middle. Parker through the circles. Build up is nice to Blakey. Does he back himself from just outside 50? It's long, it's straight. The Swans get their first score.
That's all we have time for this week. We will be back next week with more AFL reviews and previews. You can also watch our show on Aurora Foxtel on the Saturdays at midday or on YouTube. You can listen to the NEMBC radio podcast and the AFL news in 8 languages on select national multicultural radio stations and the CRN satellite network, with our weekly footy news page and tip selections on the NEMBC website. I am Vanessa Gatica.
I'm Harveer Singh.
I'm Gabriel D'Angelo.
And thank you for watching. See you next week.